Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Hiram Algarin, CEO of Bella Sloan Enterprises, and welcome to another episode of the Execute podcast. And we have a special guest today, my brother, my partner, my friend, Hiram. How you doing today, bro?
Real good, real good. Thank you.
Excellent. We are live in Tampa Bay, Florida. This is actually the first podcast I've done on the road. Yep. So I'm really, really excited. Thank you for setting it all up in this beautiful office that you have down here in Tampa. I truly, truly appreciate it. So listen, on my podcast, we talking about the journey for entrepreneurs, what it's been like for you, how are you here? You clearly have started an amazing funding business. We have done much business together, so I'm looking forward to even talking about that a little later in the show. But Hiram, talk to the people, let them know, who are you? Who's this new guy? Yeah. Who are you on the podcast, bro? Tell them what's been going on and what's the journey been for you since you've been an entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And truly humbled to be here today and allowing the opportunity to actually speak to people, right? I think it's very solid. People to know, how do we start, right? So I think the entrepreneurship blood has always been in me. Right. Parents, worked from, dusk to dawn and even further than there, right? But more importantly, from the Bronx, New York, growing up in the Bronx, New York, you always have that hustle mentality, right? How do I go? How do I grind? How do I execute? How do I make? Right. And through the years, one of the things that, working in different jobs and opportunities, being promoted, being able to be elevated and people to see certain things in you, working for somebody teaches you on the things of what not to do. So when you understand all the intricacies of how different companies work, they teach you, they provide you the tools necessary to succeed at that job. Right. But there's always a failure rate in a lot of things. Unless the company hones in and understands, been in business for 50 years, this is how we've done, we're continuously growing. A lot of companies do not have their stuff together. Okay. So when I found the opportunity to coach business owners, when I found opportunities to be in front of executives in the banking world and have these conversations with people that, were 30, 40 years under a belt with so much experience driving 500, people, call centers or customer service or banking or finance officers, I found the right opportunity to launch Ladder Financial Group. Excellent.
Let's talk about that. So you funded tens of millions of dollars. You've made a couple of millionaires, right? Let's talk about that journey to get there, but let's talk about this real quick. You're originally from Brooklyn?
Bronx.
Let
me say in Brooklyn.
What's wrong with Brooklyn? So you're originally from Bronx. When'd you move down here to Florida?
We made the move about 10 years ago, but before we did, I spent 4 years with American Honda Finance Corp out of Michigan.
All right, because I want to talk about this journey of you getting into finance specifically. So you started where again?
I started originally in the car business, and at a very young age, I got into the finance department because I had such a hunger. Like numbers, just drives me. Right. I went to school. I only got the education just to please my parents. And I think a lot of us are like that, right? I think we get to education because it's something that is instilled in us. It says you got to come with education, especially
first generation kids.
Yes, exactly. So got the accounting degree. And it's like, what am I going to do with this? It's like, that's not my personality. A lot of that personality is like watching paint dry on the wall. Right. And I can't sit behind a cubicle or behind an office and not have to interact with people. But was able to get into finance in automotive. Right. And started at a very simple Cadillac Chevrolet store. Right. Promoted into finance, then all right, you're doing so well, then I want you to run my BMW store. And then started going into more of the higher end stuff. $150,000, $300,000 vehicle. It's a different type of customer at that point in time.
Yeah, different person walking in.
And that's part of that journey that it teaches you, okay, so you dress different, you speak different, you think different. Right. And it's the same way that what I like to say the word, I like to coin it when you say there's an entrepreneurship mindset that you got to be in. There's a different language.
Different ballgame.
You can't speak the same language when you're 5 years in a business generating 7 figures. When you first started, you spoke like a baby. Yeah. And you eat solids, but now that you're eating, you speak different. Right. It's the language of business ownership.
So before you get a little deeper, I want to pause for a second because you clearly know a little bit of game on how people could get hooked up with these cars, get into the game. What's one or two quick tips you remember when people are trying to get financing for their cars? From Honda and also from BMW. What's one thing when you walk into a dealership these people should know?
Oh, I think the most important thing is you should always secure your funding first, and then and then now you go with your funds and secure the best rate, right? One of the things that I always recommend, there was always a competitor to us, credit unions, local credit unions. Pick top 3.
Yeah.
Look at their rates. Sit down with them. Don't let them pull credit yet. They say, what are your rates? This is what, understand your credit.
Right.
Understand that your credit has to be at a certain threshold in order for you to even just start the conversation. But secure the loan with the credit union. Because if you go to a local credit union, they give you a 2.75 for 60 months. Okay, well, I now know that at $30,000 vehicle at 2.75, this is my payment. So you got to know your budget.
Right.
Right? Obviously, we're buying $180,000 vehicles. We don't care what that monthly payment is. But if you're trying to make sure that you're competitive, you get your 2.75 for 60 months or 72 months or 84 months, and then go pick your car. Do not let the dealership know that you have your funds secure.
So don't let them know. When you're walking into dealership, don't let them know you're already been funded.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why? What negotiating power do you have when you do that?
The reason why is because a lot of times they will play with the numbers on the front end.
Okay.
To be able to make it up on the back end, or play with the numbers on the back end to make it up in the front end.
For example, what do you mean?
All right, so let's talk about this. So let's say that the vehicle is $30,000.
Yeah.
There's a rebate of $2,000, so now you get that $2,000 off. Now it's $2,800. They still have not taken any money off the MSRP price though. So the rebate
is just free money, basically.
That's rebate. That's from the manufacturer.
Gotcha.
Right. So let's say that on an average, a vehicle has approximately almost 10% markup.
Okay.
On a $30,000 vehicle, that's $3,000 minus your rebate. That's $5,000. Now, every dealership has, in addition to that, they have what they call holdback, memo, and advertising.
Okay.
And that's another podcast. We can get in here for like 3 hours, right?
Right.
But those are advertising money that the manufacturer gives them as a kickback every time they sell the car. So if the car sits down for 9 months or sits down for 6 months, and then they need $900 towards marketing efforts, but the car was moved in 6 days.
Yeah.
So it's all pocketed money. So on an average, you can take about 20% off of a car. But you want to make sure that the dealership gives you all the discounts up front. You have your number secure, you have your interest, and you have your banking secured. And then now that you go to the finance officer, if the finance officer says, okay, well, we got you a 4.39%, well, unfortunately, I'm not going to take that, but I appreciate that. I'm going to go with my 2.75 for the 60 or 72 month term that I got, and I'm going to move on those terms and conditions. Whoa. We know all the game. Well, let me talk to my manager. They get up, they do the whole little scribble thing. They come back after 5 minutes, and they say, hey, by the way, the manufacturer, American Honda Finance Corp, is offering 0.9% captive money. You go right through the manufacturer. That's 0.9%, saves you over, close to 2% on the rate that you got with your credit union.
Wow.
So it's negotiating power.
So, and this is a lot. I teach a lot about this in my mentorship. It's either you're going to pay me my price, or we're going to negotiate on terms.
That's correct.
But one of the two, I want to win on. If I win on both, then that's an amazing thing. So I want to recap this real quick. So going with your financing available already, usually from a credit union, because they're giving you great deals.
Correct.
If you're going to put it in your personal name, but you really should be putting it in your business name.
That's correct.
That's another podcast.
Yeah.
So you walk in there, hey, I get 2.5 from Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, and I have proof of that, right?
That's correct.
So when I show them, hey, you already took X amount off, where we agreed at $30,000.
Right.
But hey, I'm gonna go with the $30,000 check I got here, 2.5.
Right.
They're gonna get up, go to their manager, and come back, be like, hey, we'll give you the 30.
The fake play,
but we'll do 0.9. Wow. Just because you have your own financing.
Just because you have the power. That's leveraging negotiations. Okay. That is the power of negotiations. That is something that when you have, and that's something when business owners as well. We don't need to tap into this really all of it, but when you're a business owner and you purchasing that vehicle under the company name, there's buying power to that.
Gotcha.
You got to know how to negotiate the car. I don't care what economy is. I don't care if there's like only 3 on the lot, and that's the only 3 in the United States. There is power to negotiating. Why? Every dealership has what they call a floor plan.
Right.
Are you enjoying the free game that you are getting on the Execute podcast? Well, listen, inside the Bella Sloan Academy, we have even more game for you. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click the link in the description to get access to information on how to fix your credit on your own, how to set up your business on your own, how to fund your business on your own. And we have so many other courses to put you in position for the win. You wanna start an Airbnb? We got you. You wanna know how to market your business? We got you. You need to learn how to do funnels? We got you. In the Bellastone Academy, let's put you in position for the win. Let's get back to the episode.
So they don't buy a $50,000 vehicle to just keep it on their lot for 9 months. What if the car doesn't sell?
Right.
You got $50,000 dead weight of depreciating asset
sitting there
because the new one is coming out in 9 months.
It's coming.
And then you got rebates and all this, and then the manufacturer's like, that's it. We're not giving you any more.
Got you.
So what happens is, the sooner that they can put that car on floor plan, which they pay a very small interest on a $50,000 car, they may pay $400 a month. But every month that car sits down, the floor plan company comes over, we're gonna need 400 for this car times 100.
Gotcha.
So it eats into their profits. So that's where negotiating in advance and knowing these things, that the more this car sits, and that's okay, we can play that game. This is the only color, this is 1 out of 900, and all this fluff.
Right.
At the end of the day, this is a piece of metal and you need to move it. So let's get real. 2.5%, 60 or 72 months, I can get it, here's my blanket, or here's my proof of funds, here's my check, or you can give me captive funding through the manufacturer, because I know there's some incentive to that.
It's incentive to that, and get 0.9.
Get 0.9 or get 1.49, whatever the case is, because there's a lot. Listen, LendingTree says it best, right? Their terminology: when banks compete, you win.
Right.
So you got to put yourself in a competitive nature, but there's advantages to. And certain things you got to do to take advantage of those situations.
Of that. LendingTree will be waiting on our sponsorship.
That's correct.
So listen, I'm glad we went down this hole for cars, right? Because you fund businesses, you help businesses get funding. So we went down this deep hole, and you clearly know funding when it comes to cars. Like, this is crazy. You kind of tapped into, when you get in the car and your business name, you even have a little bit more leverage there. So let's talk about how you got into getting money for businesses and teaching people how to do that. What got you into that space? How did you transition from Honda Financial to funding millions and millions of dollars to businesses?
I think that the biggest enjoyment is not only, when you in a car dealership, you're grinding 7 days a week.
Yeah.
When you're in the finance department, whatever hours is in the front of that store, and the hours of operations, that is your work schedule.
Got you.
When you have a day off and somebody calls out, as a finance director, you got to step in. But I think the biggest thing that I really wanted to do is have that liberty and that freedom to be able to help our communities. We're in a position that a lot of times we're told that money is borrowing money is a bad thing.
It's a bad thing, yeah.
That's you might as well put the word devil right next to it.
Right. Yep.
Right. Never borrow money. Back in the days, Dad used to walk around with a wad and a few rubber bands because he needed two because it was that I'll keep it in a shoebox or whatever.
Yep.
Don't borrow money from banks. But the problem is that you got to understand that this is a tool.
Right. Money is a tool. And credit is a tool.
And the more that you understand that it's a tool that makes. And the people that I've gotten there in that level of just high level, kind of like, man, this guy can buy anything. It's because not only the relationship that you'll be able to build with these lenders, because once you build a relationship, now it's an open checkbook.
I love it.
Once you build an opportunity to be able to build funds, now you become head, not the tail. So where you used to go and try to borrow money, now you're able to loan money.
Right.
So I found myself in an opportunity where I'm okay, all right, let's see how far we can go. And we start with maybe doing little lines of credit here.
Right.
And we start doing and working with companies that do credit repair. And then we start looking at other types of business and industries. Businesses that are high risk or restricted industries. That a lot of times people will file for a specific iBuyHomes.com domain and type of business.
Right.
And you just shut down 96% of the lenders because they don't do business with iBuyHomes or
high risk industry.
Real estate.
Yeah.
So when I saw all the intricacies and all the guidelines and all the certain things that these banks want, right? This bank out of the West Coast only purchases things from West Coast up to like Montana and down. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm engaged. I'm intrigued. Okay. Now it's like a surgeon, right? All right. So now I got to find this lender for this high risk industry because this guy decided to go with this SIC code, and I got to help him in developing more intelligence and foundation and all. And it's just like I fell in love with it.
Gotcha.
And the biggest thing that I enjoy the most is when you have a brand new business that did everything so wrong. You sit down with them, you get them the funding. They've been turned down by 3 or 4 lenders before they spoke to you. And that fresh breath air that they take, man, I appreciate it.
I was able to get something. Thank you for helping me out.
That's how we start.
So can you talk to us about some of the mistakes that you see a lot of startup companies or businesses that are making money, but they never got capital before? Can you talk to us about some of the mistakes that they have made that you were able to correct with just a couple of phone calls? Hey, do this, change this. Tell our entrepreneurs some mistakes that you've seen.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest problems that we have is people get afraid of asking. Stop asking for your family for money, all right? We get that. That's the first thing. Stop asking a family for money because you're going to be the talk of that barbecue. All right?
Ouch.
And for the next 2 to 3 years, because this person said that you didn't pay him back or whatever the case is, you're going to be the talk of the barbecue. So the first thing, do not ask family for money. You got to use the banks. Delta, Coca-Cola bottling company, you have all these big corporations, Amazon, they borrow money to make money. So one of the biggest things that I see, a lot of people still use a checking account as their business banking account.
Ooh, a personal checking account. Come on. Come on. Talk to them.
So they get a personal checking account, all that money going to them.
Right.
Now they got to go to a CPA at the end of the year and they think that they have it all set. Now the CPA has to get all those receipts and now they don't know where they're at.
Don't know anything. They got to try to figure out what was what.
So now we have you're making $20,000 a month.
Making good money.
You're making good money. You're making $15,000 a month. Where's the receipts of all these expenditures?
So bad checking account, no receipts.
No receipts.
Okay.
And you're sole prop.
And you're a sole prop. Ooh, you're hurting feelings. Some people are being attacked right now, bro.
I'm sorry, but sometimes in reality, it hurts, unfortunately. So what it really comes down to is you got to make sure that the foundation and everything that when you start from the beginning, first foot forward has to be right. So the first thing I said, don't ask a family for money, but ask the people that are in positions that are making money, have business, take advice from them. How did you make it to 7 figures? How are we on YouTube listening to people that don't even have a business that's generating money? Or they're business owners and influencers that are taking the L's every month.
Every month, yeah.
So we have to be able to now take advice from the right people. Who you take advice from? Your attorney, your CPA, and your banker. These are the people that can look at your credit report and look at your business and know that there's trouble ahead.
There's trouble ahead.
Your CPA is going to tell you, listen, stop spending. Hold off. Them P&Ls don't look good. Your attorney is going to say, hey, listen, you're set up wrong. But you don't always have to set things up with an attorney. Your LLC doesn't have to be set up with an attorney. What I'm saying is you have to take advice from the people that are making a difference, that are really in it.
Right. I always say take advice from people who've done it, or at minimum, people who failed at it.
That's correct.
Because everyone has an opinion. Oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I always say I don't take marital advice from single people. You've never been married. You've never been on the other side of I do. But I take advice from people who've been married for a while, or even people who've been divorced.
Right.
Because they kind of got some good gems to give me too. And I think that the same thing needs to be said when it comes to business. So if I'm trying to get funded, my CPA is going to let me know what's going on. My banker is going to let me go on. And someone like you, Hiram, who's funded millions of dollars, I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to that space. So let's talk about the company that you started, Ladder Financial Group. When did you start it? Because I want to talk to the entrepreneurs about that journey of starting something brand new and how you took it to a 7-figure business. Like, what did that look like in the beginning? Why'd you make that jump? Why are you even here?
So my business partner and I started Ladder Financial Group April 9th, 2019.
Okay.
And we always spoke about the opportunities that were out there. We were both working for the same company, believe it or not.
Okay.
So we had our own little coffee station, our little coffee clutch and all that. And we used to chat about, just like we're saying, the failures of a company.
Right.
How can we do it better? Times 10. The multiplier.
Hold on a second. Do you feel you've done that? Taking those failures and multiplied it by 10.
It's a work in progress.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you never are a perfect company.
Got you.
We can sit here and do 100%, give 100% of the time, and based on what we feel internally.
Right.
So we take an internal temperature of ourselves and say, I'm doing it right. but we're not.
Right.
That's the point of failure. When you sit here and you take internal temperature, and I'm always 100%.
Yeah.
Because you're looking from the inside, never from the outside.
Not from the outside.
People that do business with us, let's do a little quick 10-pick lottery on how many people we funded. How do we do? Were we successful? Did we exceed your expectations? Was there anything else that we could have done for you?
So you do those follow-up calls?
Absolutely.
Even after you've gotten somebody money?
Even after they're willing to give us a 5-star review anywhere that we give them.
Got you.
Because it's important that we really get to understand where do we fall short. I think a lot of companies don't do that. They don't take the time to really know who you are. Like one of the things that I think a lot of people really connect with us is because our finance officers really take the time to hear what you're doing. If you're selling trinkets or you're selling a robotic arm or whatever it is that's worth millions of dollars.
I need to know that story.
And we need to know that Bobby's playing soccer.
Yeah.
We need to know that your son is doing singing lessons or whatever the case is. And then we take great copious notes and we follow up with them and we engage them. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to, as a business owner, know and understand what people think about you? Because the more that I impress you, the more that you are amazed, the more that I exceed your expectations. Now we open up a whole new world, which is called repeat and referral business.
Okay, deep dive. Let's go a little bit deeper than that. What do you mean by that?
Well, all right. So back in the days, people used to sell vacuums.
Yeah. Door to door.
Door to door.
Yeah. Kirby.
$5,000 vacuums.
I remember those. Yeah, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
The person that recruited you say, hey, this is a job is just over broke. So just make yourself as successful as possible.
Yeah.
And you sold a $5,000 vacuum and you had to go through a door. The gatekeeper, whoever that was, finally get to the living room to then bring their defense mechanism down to then finally get to the bed so you can vacuum their bed.
Vacuum their bed, bro.
Their bedroom, which is the most sanctuary part of the house.
Yeah. That's not happening nowadays.
No.
You're not getting in anybody's house to do that. Yeah.
Right? So, but the important thing though is that after you impressed them and they made a $5,000 investment in the 80s and the 90s. $5,000 in the 80s and 90s. That's like today's world. That's like $18,000.
Right.
But you also got a referral to the neighbor from 3 doors down because they hang together and they know other people. And the first thing that people do when they get something, check out my new car.
Check out my new car.
Check out my new vacuum. Check out my new ring or whatever you have on, and people flaunt it.
Especially. They got the new car, they got the new vacuum, but I really want to tell you about the person who even sold it to me. Yeah,
that's correct.
I got what you're saying.
So when if as a business owner, you get a $100,000 line of credit and you're happily satisfied, how can we tap into the people that you're doing, that's in your circle, that you've audited,
right? Yeah.
That you think will need $100,000.
Got you.
So we can't sit here and say, hey, give me a referral of 5 people you think that needs. Come on, that's 90s.
Right.
But today, if you show that you go above and beyond, then a lot of these local lending institutions or national lending institutions, because they never have that follow-up concept in place. They don't call you up and say, the insurance company never calls you up and says, hey, by the way, premiums are lowering in your area.
Right.
So we're going to give you a rate concession.
Yep.
Your banker's never going to call you, hey, rates just went down. How about a line of credit with us? No, they're only going to call you when they need, but they never, once you engage, okay, we're done.
We're done.
So am I an account number or am I a relationship to this institution?
Got you.
We're relationship based. Funding is just the cherry on the top.
Cherry on the top, because I'm familiar with your business. I know the space that you're in. I know the metrics. I'm able to get you as much funding as possible because I know these little things, and that's super, super crucial. So let's talk about some of the programs that Ladder has that separates you from your competition, if you don't mind bragging about your business a little bit.
Yeah.
So what's some upcoming things you got going on, or some products that you got right now that, like, Herman, like, I don't know anybody in the business that has this. Talk to the people. What do you got?
Yeah, so Ladder Financial Group, a lot of the programs that we do, we've been getting a lot into the real, true artificial intelligence. I think this is the future of banking.
Okay.
The future of banking.
All right.
Like automated approvals. Like we're turning into, banking is turning into a situation where it's all robotic.
Okay.
8 out of 10 lenders are using systems, computers, robots. And you got these, I like to call them, cyber engineers or developers that are putting these certain filters. We need a 680, we need these many trade lines, we look out for AUs, or look out for this, or look out for whatever it is, and then boom, here's an approval.
Time out. We're going to get back to the show. But listen, we have to talk about Bella Sloan Academy, the dopest mentorship on the internet. Listen, in this mentorship, we're going to teach you game. We want to put you in position for the win. And we have created a dope community of like-minded people and entrepreneurs just like you. We have 5 live Zoom calls per month. Not just your regular videos that you can watch later. No, we want to touch you and we want to talk to you. In these 5 Zoom calls, you have your accountability call, you have your credit repair call, you have your business funding call. Listen, I don't know everything, so I get masterminds to come and teach you guys about credit, real estate, and other businesses that include trust, life insurance, to put you in position for the win. This is only $50 per month. That's right. This investment is super, super low. Put yourself in position. Back to the show.
Example. A few years back, you see there's about 17 lanes in a Walmart.
Yeah.
Or your local Pathmark or ShopRite or wherever, supermarket, Piggly Wiggly. There was a live human being scanning.
Yeah, walking through the aisles.
If you have not noticed this yet, in Tampa, there's about that 70% of them are gone, and they're all automated checkouts.
70% in Tampa right now.
70%.
Wow, it's high here.
70% of the lanes are gone for checkout.
It's self-checkout now.
Self-checkout. So now you got to scan every piece, you got to do this, and you got to do that. Now let's move over to lending. If the computer system understands that what it needs it's required in order to get an automatic approval, you don't need 80% of your staff paying them payroll, paying the health insurance, time off, PTO.
Gotcha.
Hey, I'm not here today. So now you put all that weight, 500 applications on the rest of the staff, and it's instantaneously.
Because the computer knows the data points and is looking for those data points to get the instant approval. So let's talk about these instant approvals, because you want an instant approval.
That's right.
So you got to give us a little bit of sauce, bro.
Right.
What does an instant approval application look like in the future, or right now? What's coming with these AI looking at these applications?
The craziest thing right now, when this all first started, maybe about 9 years ago, you would need a full application: first, last name, telephone number, email, business, address, business entity, articles, EIN, blase. A long list, over 23 pieces on that application. Nowadays, believe it or not, we are so used to putting our information in every single place.
Right.
You remember the Chinese restaurants? And you have the little, hey, win this cruise.
Yeah.
And you fill it out.
Fill out the ad.
And you never call, and they never called you to win your cruise.
Yeah.
But your parents started getting calls on how to get sold on all kinds of things.
Right.
So we're so channeled in that we fill out information. You go to Banana Republic, go buy a T-shirt. Hey, do you mind if we put you on an email list? You go here now. Hey, do you mind if we get your first name, email, and telephone number, and all that kind of stuff? All that information goes to a data drop company.
The information's everywhere.
Now the data drop company will send that information over to companies like MX, who pulls banking information, Plaid, who pulls banking data. How much money you got in there?
FinTech, that's the future. They're actually checking what's in your bank account right now.
You don't even have to tell them. You don't even have to put it on the application. They don't even ask for it anymore.
Because
they already know it. They already have it.
So that's how you're getting these pre-approvals.
That's how you get these pre-approvals. Understanding how banks think and will allow you to get approvals because you know what they're looking for.
Right. So a little tip with American Express. I know you mentioned them. American Express, believe it or not, if you didn't know it, when you signed up, you gave them permission to do a soft pull on your credit report every 30 days. So that's why a lot of our clients who go and they apply for another American Express card, yes, you have a relationship with them. Yes, you haven't been late with them, but they pulled your credit already and they know that you're solid and they're going to give you that next platinum, that next gold, or whatever you have. That's why, Bella Sloan, we're up to like 6 banking relationships with American Express because they have our information already.
That's correct.
And they're already running it.
That's correct.
So AI is the future.
AI is the future, and one of the things that we are doing in AI is the ability to get pre-approvals on the spot and drumming and moving that information over to 100, 200 lenders on a specific platform.
So wait a second.
Yes.
Ladder Financial has connections with hundreds of lenders.
Absolutely.
So you have a client that comes through, they fill out an application. What's the minimum they need for you?
As far as what?
The application.
The minimum, first, last name, telephone number, email. That easy.
Name, number, and email, you can get them a pre-approval.
Yes.
It's going to hundreds of banks.
Hundreds of lenders.
Somebody's coming.
All softball.
All soft pull. Mm-hmm. Somebody's coming back.
Somebody's coming back.
With a number.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You see, banks change guidelines based on, okay, now let's take a national bank. Mm-hmm. They work off of board members.
Yeah.
Board members see the financials and look at the market and then increase or decrease their buying power. Mm-hmm. So today they might say, I want a 680. Tomorrow they say, no, minimum is 700 to get in. Credit unions are member driven.
My favorites. Go ahead.
Which you and I are, if we're in the same credit union, we're members.
Right.
So we have an investment to this. But if we're doing well and the shares are doing and the pledges are good and everybody's going at great pay rate throughout the whole term of the loan, then we now bring down our guidelines. So where it was 680, now we're looking at 640s. Pre-approval offers through email. Because they're constantly doing what American Express does.
Doing those soft pulls. They're looking at it. It's all automated.
That database company that's extracting this information is selling it to them. They say, I want to buy 50,000 records of everybody that got a pre-approval or has an approval from a year ago.
Because the chances are they should still be good.
And they're low utilization if you follow the steps.
Yeah.
Low utilization, perfect payment history, 24-month rule, a 12-month rule, paid through, no charge-offs or anything like that. Now, boom, here's a credit card offer for $100,000.
Wow.
At 0% for 12 months.
Wow.
How much can I do with $100,000 at 0% for 12 months in my business?
What's the biggest credit card you've ever seen? Limit.
I would say like 180.
180 on one credit card?
Yeah, like startup business.
180?
180 grand.
Wow.
Now, we've seen, there's that premier customer that's been in business for 5 years and, here's $3 million. You get those. I've been in business for 3 years. I'm making great money. My company's growing, scaling. $3 million limit. Here you go.
I love it.
But it's a private banking kind of situation. And yeah, we handle those. We can get those all day, but it's stair stepping.
Right.
You can't become a developer without having to flip your first home.
Yeah.
You can't be FedEx without driving your first truck or having somebody driving it for you. It's all stair stepping.
Who is your best? Because the podcast that we're on, Execute Podcast, we want to only talk to people who want to get capital in their business name, right? It's the end of 2022. They're saying it's another recession. They're saying it's coming or we're in it. I don't know what the news is saying. Every 5 minutes is different. What is the best looking credit profile you like coming into your portal? Herman, they gotta have like a 697. Somebody to get 25 to 50,000. Herman, what do you need to see?
A lot, believe it or not, it's not so much driven by score.
Okay.
The score is just a doorknob for you to open the door,
just to get in,
sit down, and just start a conversation.
That just gets you in the room.
That just gets you in the room.
Okay, so the credit score just gets you in the room.
The credit score just gets you in the room.
All right.
The body has got to be thick.
Yeah, I'm saying you're talking my language.
Thick,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So what I mean,
right?
you gotta have established credit.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's talk about that. Most lenders like to see a minimum of 2 years.
Okay. In
order for you to get approved for unsecured business funding.
The business is 2 years old, or the credit profile?
Their credit profile.
Oh, okay.
Let's not even talk about articles yet. I'm talking about, 2 years with, let's say, 2 trade lines, Bank of America and some other bank.
Primary trade lines, they belong to you.
They belong to you.
All right.
Utilization of less than 40%.
Okay. The lower the better, though.
The lower the better.
Okay.
But that's the minimum. I'm just talking about, that's the minimum that they want. They want to see that there's great activity. They want to see that you're actually opening up the account, keeping it full, or almost to its full limit for at least a 120-day billing cycle.
What do you mean keeping it to its full limit? What do you mean?
What I mean is when you get a brand new credit card, you want to max that out, put that into business.
Oh.
And then you keep that for a 120-day billing cycle. This is how you increase limit increases down the road.
Come on, there's that little sauce a lot of you guys, a lot of gurus are not talking about. So you max out the card because banks like to see that you maxed it out.
That's correct.
But paid it off. Because that lets them know business is good.
Business is good. But keep it up for 120 days. Obviously, do your minimum payment, whatever the case is.
Right.
Get marketing. Get your attorney. Get yourself right.
Right.
Get the business in the best position. and then pay it off.
Got you.
And then you play that whole trick again every month on a monthly. Increase, pay off. Increase, pay off. Yeah. Not only are you building points to be able to go into these beautiful lounges and these nice lavish vacations for free.
I know, for free, right?
But at the same time, it gives the system a recognition that you need more money.
It lets them know. That's how the automatic.
It's in a specific category. Let's move you over to a different department. Because the moment that you open your credit cards, that's when the computer has a microscope on you. They're looking to see what you're doing, your payment behavior, your payment history. How long he's keeping this account open? How long is he keeping it with limits, or she's open it, whatever the case is. And they're looking at this, and there's certain things and algorithms that these systems pick up and then send you over to a specific department. Gotcha. And then now when you call and say, thank you, you got me $25,000 in the beginning, but my business has a bigger need. Okay, no problem. Can you please let me know what you anticipate on making? Well,
I think that's a key word you just said there.
Anticipate.
Anticipate on making. Okay. Right. Y'all picked up what he put down? I picked up what you put down. Go ahead.
100 grand a month.
Okay.
All right. Give me a few seconds. I'll place you on a brief hold. Listen to this beautiful elevator music, and we'll be right with you.
Right. And you come back.
Congratulations. We just gave you an increase of $75,000.
Nice. Because you asked for something a lot higher, but they came back. And who knew you was gonna even expect 75 grand?
That's on one card.
And that's on one card.
So now we do the same, the wash, rinse, repeat on the second.
On all your other cards. And just increase the capital on your business with a couple of phone calls.
So then my thought process is, a lot of times as business owners, we get stuck with just one business. You know, almost a year ago, you did that whole stanchion or pillar play. You put 4 highlighters or 6 highlighters, and there was a piece of paper on top.
Yeah, wow, you remember that video.
Yes.
Wow, yeah.
But you know what's the craziest thing about it? It's so true. A lot of business owners, though, never elevate themselves to a 30,000 foot view to see everything from the top, and they're so engulfed in the business. But no, once you get it to the point where you think you can't go no more, you start bringing in the right people. Now let's start establishing the next.
Yeah.
And the moment that GDP, markets, volatile market, very shaky, we're talking about war, and all this kind of stuff, it does not phase you because you already have other 5 pillars that are making you revenue.
That are making you revenue, yeah. So let's talk about that. So he's talking about a video I did a couple of years ago where Bella Sloan has a foundation, but there's certain things holding us up. So we got credit repair, we do business funding, I do speaking gigs, we do trade lines, we do these different things that are within the scope of the business. So a recession happened, we're funding less people, right? But I'm doing more credit repair.
That's right.
Or the trade line business goes up and down, but I'm also speaking more or whatever. So I have all these different pillars that are holding up the business, and it's not just one stream of income. So the more capital that I get, I'm building up relevant businesses within my business. So if I had a restaurant, right, I pivot to like, yo, let me start my own seasoning line. Right? Because it's associated with the restaurant. Or we have a restaurant, but now we have a catering business behind it. You know what I mean? So we're able to pivot. So I know a lot of restaurants during the pandemic, they went to catering, or they went to takeout only.
Or mobile.
Or went to mobile, right. Being able to pivot your business and having the capital to make that switch. So I want to talk about, I'm not going to let you leave here without letting the cat out the bag about 2 things, right? Got an amazing application that's coming out. Super, super excited about this application. Do it yourself, no personal guarantee business funding. People come to Bella Sloan all the time for funding. They watch a couple of YouTube videos. Oh, I don't want to use my social security number. Let me get $50,000. I'm like, what? I look at them like they're crazy. We have an app coming out that's going to walk everybody through this process so they can get no PG. Talk to us about that, what that looks like. Make the special announcement.
Let me go reverse on that really quick so that people understand really the reason why it got started.
Okay. Well,
I think the most important thing is to understand why. You know, my business partner and I, we sat down and we were like, okay, why are these applications getting declined? I mean, they're generating decent money. You know, there's a lot of things that on an application you really can't see. Like, you know, okay, so you get a credit card through Gap, but can you see what they really bought in the last purchase? It doesn't tell you on the credit report. So we really went into really honed in and took 100 files. And we started really digging in. We hired a research team to do the legwork. Find out why. Well, this guy doesn't have a website. He makes $150,000 a month. He doesn't have a social media presence. How do I know he's still he's still active?
Y'all hear that?
How do I know he's still active? So what do? We call the guy and say, hey man, it's very easy. Craig called him up and say, here's a Facebook group, man.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a Facebook, a page, or here's your landing page. It only costs us $14 to get you $150,000. Boom.
Boom.
Now we write this information down.
So that little investment of a $14, $100 website now can go back to the lender. Boom, $50,000 in funding.
We'll have to go to another lender because this already declined.
Got you.
Now we go into it further. Okay, now we look at what we call bank rating. A lot of people don't even know that.
Right.
We were talking a little bit with artificial intelligence, but bank rating. There's a low 3 or it's a high 3, and it goes all the way up to a 5.
And what are they looking at with these bank ratings?
The bank rating is, again, MX, Small Business Financial Exchange, and you have Plaid, data dump companies and data gathering companies. They're looking how much average daily balance you keep in your bank account. They're looking at your transactions. They're looking at if you're a risk or not. That's why I always say, hey, move this money over to your business and then pay certain things out. Create a QuickBooks account. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's $20 a month, right? But they're looking for information to say, okay, you want me to give you $1 million, but you haven't even touched $1 million yet.
Right. So you see how not having your business set up properly, not having a business checking account is literally costing you money.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you enjoying this episode of the Execute Podcast? Well, listen, this free game is just the taste. This episode is sponsored by the Bella Sloan Academy. In the Bella Sloan Academy, we have so much more game. You want to learn how to fix your credit? You want to learn how to set up your business correctly? You want to learn how to get funding for your business? We got you in the Bella Sloan Academy. And even more sauce. You want to know how to market your business? We got you. You want to know how to 10x your business? We got you. We want to put you in position for the win. And listen, in the Bella Sloan Academy, we meet every single month. We have coaches that want to put you in position for the win. So click the link in the description and let's get back to this episode. I'll talk to you soon.
And the biggest issue that we find is that you got a lot of people that are on that YouTube life, right?
Yeah.
How to start a business with $1 in your pocket.
Right.
I want to become a millionaire, retire by 30.
Right.
But a lot of things is, there's elbow grease. You got to grease everything and make sure that you're strong. You are up when your family's sleeping. That happens in the morning, that happens at night.
At night, bro, yeah.
You're the first one to get up in the morning and you're first one at the company before your employees go in.
Yeah.
You're the last one that leaves and you're closing the door, and there's times that you just got to clean up the other restrooms.
Right.
And you're wearing all these different hats. But the most important thing here is that as a business owner, you have to understand how banks think.
Yeah.
So as we were going into these different applications, going one by one, our researching team calling, getting hanged up on it. Don't call again. All right, just call it. There's another backdoor number here that we found. And I mean, just little ninjas just constantly calling these. So we were gathering this information and then we created Ladder Accelerate.
I love it.
What we wanted to do is how to be able to get funding for your business without having to use yourself personally.
This is major.
And you know what the biggest problem is that in our communities a lot of times is that when we fund our business, and I think in a lot of different communities and a lot of different worlds and types of places that are entrepreneurship driven, right? But I think one of the biggest focuses is that we spend a lot of our money in the business, and then we fall short when we have to go get funded.
Got you.
And that is one of the biggest problems that I have.
Yeah.
That I said this system is all messed up.
Right.
You don't want to give startup funding to anybody that just walked in and has a great idea. But you're going to call them 5 or 10, 20 years down the road when they're making millions.
Millions, yeah.
Why didn't you see me when I was on my lowest? But funding a business without having to personally guarantee it and releasing some of that cash flow to use it for other things,
right?
Unforeseen situations. Oh, I need to pay for this, or I need to pay for that. That's where this program will really help a lot of people.
A lot of people, bro, yeah.
Even the part where if your credit is not right, putting vehicles in the company name without PG in it.
What?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Putting vehicles on the company name without personally guaranteeing it.
Success has receipts. I know you got a couple of cars.
Yes.
And what do you have right now in the business name only?
We got the Cadillac, the two Lexus, and the Porsche GT3.
So you have 4 cars.
4 cars.
You got a Porsche in the business name.
That's correct.
No PG.
Right.
because you are your own receipt where you have set up your business properly.
That's correct.
Right? So now you're going into these lenders, these dealerships, and the app is coming out where we can show people how to do the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
From beginning to end, how long do you think this takes to set up your business properly so I can get a couple of credit cards, I can get 1 or 2 cards in my business name, no PG? How long do you think that'll take?
You know, I never like to put timing on it because everybody works at their own pace.
Okay.
You know, not every credit repair company works at the same rate.
Got you.
Or speed.
Got you.
Not to some business owners, executing is not urgency.
Dang, that's a bar right there.
I'm just letting you know.
To some businesses, executing is not an urgency.
It's not urgent.
Ooh, I love that one right there.
Because I still got my W-2 job.
So they're not pressed.
They're not pressed with time.
Gotcha.
And you know what I tell people? Because my business partner is my witness. When I started the company,
Yeah.
the reason why we started the company, we were thrown into that circle of business ownership.
Right. You became a business owner.
We became a business owner when we left, and we said there is no other income coming in. So what are we gonna do?
Gotta fund it.
So you know what? I'm not telling anybody out there, if you're faint at heart, if you're still playing double dutch to try to jump in that circle, you know, that go in with 2 feet.
Yeah.
But you know, in all reality, you got to go in, you got to drive it, and you know what? You'll find tremendous success.
I love it.
You know, your feet gonna be hitting the pavement. You're gonna be in the Chamber of Commerce. You're gonna be out there putting your name out there. You just got to go grind. But keep in mind one thing: you can easily be backed up and financially stable when you understand how to use other people's money to fund your business.
Fund your business. So listen, guys, the holy grail where everybody's trying to get at is not business credit. It's actually corporate credit, because corporate credit is no personal guarantee. And that's where everybody wants to be. Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. The CEO is not PGing anything. The business is set up properly. They got some financial. It's no personal guarantee the rest of the way. So listen, I want to exit out on this. Another product that Ladder is doing, because it's amazing. Again, like I was saying earlier, you have different pillars within Ladder. So obviously you're doing funding. We're doing the no personal guarantee app. But you also got how to become your own Ladder Financial. Now, that's the big one right there.
Yeah.
Talk about that, bro.
Well,
Can't leave without you talking about that.
I'm going to talk about it very briefly, very lightly, because it's still in the works, because we want to make sure that whatever we do, we drop it, but with
care, execution, right.
excellency in everything that we do. Yes, Ladder Financial Group has decided to teach and educate on how to make 7 figures doing what we do.
Whoa.
How to be Ladder.
Whoa, how to be Ladder.
How to be Ladder.
Okay.
And one thing I will say, if whoever I'm speaking to, this is really for those that will hone in, take full ownership, and just drive it. Ladder Financial Group, first year in business, hit 7 figures.
Your first year in business.
First year in business.
So you've done it. You have the blueprint. And you're willing to share it?
We're willing to share it.
Why will you and your partner want to do something like that?
There's 50-something thousand businesses being established on a weekly basis here in the United States.
50,000?
In the United States.
Wow.
So,
and they all need funding.
And they all need funding.
Right?
They all need funding.
Right.
You can, if I decided to not lend money or broker money out of Florida, and I just concentrated just staying in Florida, I would eat for years. We can transfer these businesses to our children, and they can eat for years. Because in Florida, there's always going to be business owners being,
just in this state alone.
Starting, just in the state. So now think about it. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to be in that market because it's saturated, whatever the case is. What happened when that pandemic hit?
Right.
Businesses needed money.
Yep.
SBA was printing cash.
Printing money. Trillions.
Who do you think made money during the pandemic?
The people brokering the money.
So when people are saying, well, the economy, there's an issue with the economy.
Yeah.
Banks are tying in guidelines. Blase. It was Amazon selling toilet paper.
Yep. Toilet paper, right?
All right.
Yeah.
People were slinging toilet paper like it was, there was supermarkets making money.
Right.
And there was business loan brokers making money. So if we want to talk about a recession-proof opportunity.
Right.
How to be Ladder.
How to be Ladder. This is amazing.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
We're going to leave it at that, and we're definitely going to drop the link. When that's ready, we'll put it in the description, because that's going to be absolutely amazing. So I want to close out. Want to, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You and your business partner, Craig, came out and definitely showed us love in Tampa. But I want to close out today. I ask the same question at the end of every episode. You've done well, 7-figure business. You're coming out with some great applications that are beyond the scope of the business to actually help other entrepreneurs, which I think is very commendable. In 5 years, in 10 years, if we do a recap episode, we do an alumni episode, what goals, where do you want to be at that point? Hey, Herman, I got something else. What's on the plate for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest and most important thing is being able to automate the financial financial process
from beginning to end. I got you.
We can no longer take applications in a pen and paper. We can no longer walk into a brick and mortar location.
Okay.
So therefore, if I can say this, if there's an application that at the drop of a dime, you need $50, $100, $200,000, you're a developer, and it walks you through the whole process, money in your bank account anywhere from 4 to 24 hours.
Whoa.
That's where we want to be.
4 to 24 hours.
Right in your bank account.
Using the AI.
Using artificial intelligence, systems, engineered correctly, application, funding. Okay, step 2, corporate credit building. Step 3, exit strategy.
Exit strategy. That's another podcast.
There's a bell curve. It's a bell curve, right? The bell curve is startup, train is chugging, you're in the top of your game.
Right.
Once you're in the top of your game and everything starts to look good, okay, I'm getting a little older. Where do I find myself? I got to go and make an exit. And if that means that I've dedicated 10, 15 years to this business, but my wife or my husband and my children need me, I'm just going to sit back and be ahead, not the tail anymore. Great way to close out. Hiram, I appreciate you, CEO of Ladder Financial Group. This was an absolutely great episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want you to follow Hiram. Where can everybody reach out to you? Follow you on where? At Ladder, on Instagram, it's Ladder Financial GRP, LATTER Financial GRP.
Listen, guys, don't forget, execute. I'll talk to you soon.